Mondli. Very good morning to you. I just want to base everything we're going to talk about is on this article, Ramaphosa's rose-tinted glasses must go. And you're quoting Millie Jackson in this particular one. Tell me why you think that he's wearing rose-tinted glasses in the first place.
Well, this year is going to be a very tough year for South Africa. And there's a great temptation for the president, for everybody, to be very optimistic, to be unrealistic about what faces South Africa. 2018 was a year in which we had just come out of the Jacob Zuma era. And when we came out, and we had a new president and a new government, and there was great hope. And people were very optimistic, but we were not realistic about the challenges that we're facing. 2019 really hit us in the face. And by the time we came out of 2019, if we all remember, 2019 was a very tough year. We realized that actually the economy was in a tough state. The parastatals were in a tough area. And it was a very gloomy year. 2020 is actually going to be worse than that.
Yeah.
And this speech that the president is going to give on Saturday is actually a speech which actually needs to set the tone for the country to say, let us make big decisions, let us make tough decisions about how to turn this country around.
But Mondli, he's a leader of a country that needs a little bit of hope. You know, you don't want to see the president going up there and, you know, regurgitating what we all know. We know the unemployment numbers are high. We know so many things are wrong. Don't you want a little bit of inspiration? Yes,
definitely. We need inspiration, but inspiration must not be lies. It must not be about, this is going to be a wonderful year for this country. This is going to be a great year for this country. We had some good news yesterday with the increase in the matric rate, and like, wonderful, yes. But what we need to do right now is not, I'm not saying he must go out there and give us a gloomy picture of like we are in hell. But you must say we are in a very tough situation. This is what we need to do collectively as a country, as political parties, as a government, and as citizens, to make sure that 2020, yes, as tough as it is, but it must be the year that we turn things around.
Okay. In your article, you also speak very scathing of the ANC, because you say this weekend Kimberley will be invaded by skimpily clad slay queens who make the annual pilgrimage to the Durban July and all those other fancy things. I mean, you're not expecting much to come out of this Kimberley foray, are you?
Did I write that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, you know what? The January 8th was a sacred day. It is still a sacred day, not just for members of the ANC, not just for supporters of the ANC, but for South Africans. On January 8th, 1912, was a key day, not for the people of South Africa, for the people of the continent, because the founding of the ANC in Bloemfontein on that day was a day that kick-started the liberation process.
Yeah.
It was a revival of the wars of resistance, but it was a day that kick-started the process which ended up on April 27, 1994, and it gave impetus to the liberation struggle of South Africa. So during all the years, particularly the years when the ANC was in exile, what happened on January 8th, or Tambo, the president of the ANC at the time, would give the January 8th statement, and everybody would wait for it. Everybody would listen to hear what the marching orders were. And even after liberation, Nelson Mandela did the same thing, Thabo Mbeki did the same thing. But during those 10 years in which a certain guy that I won't mention was in power, it lost its value. January 8 lost its value, and it is a party. People spend lots of money on good whiskey, on slay queens, on having a wonderful party. Yes, people must have a party because it is a celebration. But people look forward to going to a January 8 city because they want to have fun, not to listen to the content. And I think that it's a very sad thing. It should be a sad thing for every South African, because it should be a sacred day, a day which we all value.
It's kind of lost its meaning, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Mondli Makhanya, thank you so much for joining us. City Press Editor-in-Chief, giving us his thoughts and what he's expecting to come out of the January 8 statement, which of course will be given out by the President of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa.